And we're live. Boom, 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 boom. 808 Breakfast Banter. Pull up with your morning bevy. Flick the jug on. We'll wait till we get some followers though, bro. Yeah, but yes, this is multitasking legendary level.
Yeah, right. Like, actually feels kind of awesome.
Having a conversation live streaming through the car, eh?
Yeah, it's like talking to myself. I'm pretty certain the guy next to me is looking at me a bit weird.
Yeah, he probably will be. Morning, team. I'm at the house. The bro's on the road. Who we got on this morning? We've got a good discussion this morning. We've got the quarter it all that we wanted to finish off yesterday. Is esports a sport? I'm gonna go jump on our Insta because we got some good comments yesterday. There was a bit of, there was some guy that replied. I'm not too sure who it was. Artiki H. He reckons that it is a sport.
Yeah, okay. Did he give a reason why?
Definitely a sport. Like bodybuilding is a sport. That is the only reason that we got.
Yeah, see, I don't agree that bodybuilding is a sport. It's a pageant show.
Bodybuilding, but don't you go to the gym?
Yeah, you go to the gym, but the gym is not a sport, it's a hobby, right? That's like you go there, you get fit. But the sport of bodybuilding isn't necessarily around, like there's skill level around posing, but it's no different to modeling. People who go and do top modeling, Miss Universe and stuff, around how they can present themselves. It's exactly the same for me with bodybuilding. That's not a slight on bodybuilding, but I just don't think it's a sport. I think it's a beauty pageant, because you're essentially judging on the symmetricalness of the muscles and the fullness of the bellies and all the rest of it, which is fine, but I don't think it's a sport. It's probably pissed a lot of people off, but in essence, it's a beauty pageant. You're in little fucking Speedo trunks or stripper high heels and stuff like that, and you're literally you're up on stage parading your body. You're a beauty pageant.
That is a fair call, and it's interesting because bodybuilding gets put on this platform of like, get shredded and we're healthy at like 2% body fat or something.
Yeah, it's not based on performance. It's not a performance-based sport. Like, there are guys that do bodybuilding who are massive and have huge muscle bellies and look ridiculously amazing as bodybuilders, but they're not measuring on how much they lift or how fast they lift or what style of lifts they're doing. They're just measuring, okay, my genetics allows me to lift. I only have to lift this much to get this full, so that's all I'll have to do, and that's how I'll put my size on. And then as well as how many needles can I put into my body to help enhance. Because at the end of the day, bodybuilding is not a natural sport. It's an unnatural sport. Because
you're manipulating your body, right?
Yeah. I've always called it the most unhealthy part of gym life is bodybuilding, because it's literally, if you get into that world, it's not, that's not what your body is designed to be. Your body is not designed to be 7% or 6% or 4% body fat. Yeah, you're meant to have fat on your body. You're meant to perform really well. You look at most bodybuilders when they go on stage, they generally faint just by standing on stage and posing.
Yeah, wow.
Right. So for me, that's my 2 cents worth. Look at that.
Ben just put up a good comment. Ben just put up a good comment about the esports. As a giant nerd, yes, they train and they practice as a team, and then they compete against one another, where there's a non-sport aspect. Rugby boys run plays in a field. Esport run plays on a screen. So are you saying it is a sport, Tama?
Yeah, I think he is. I take that point though. Like, that's true. Like in the esports, they train, they communicate, and all the rest of it. There's a certain amount of skill level to it. I just think that that the hardest. I think maybe for me, because I'm an old guy, I find that hard because there's no physical element to it.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what I'm struggling with. But
I got a comment yesterday on our Insta post. Chuck, she replies, the Cambridge and Oxford dictionaries contain physical effort and physical exertion, respectively, in their definitions of sport, which would lead me to argue that esports shouldn't be considered as a sport. Same logic by which I wouldn't consider poker or chess to be sports.
Neither do I. I think they're hobbies or games.
Oh, this is a rev me up combo.
Yeah.
This is a rev me up combo.
Like when people go to me, oh, darts is a sport. Darts is not a sport. All right, you cannot tell me that the guys at the elite level darts, like they've got amazing hand-eye coordination. All right, they have, they can obviously work under pressure to hit, the whatever they need to do in their target. But that is not a sport when they're drinking piss at the dart table, and none of them look like they've ever stepped foot in a training environment to allow them to do what they do, right? So for me, and maybe this is me being a bit archaic, but I don't consider that a sport, as well as I don't consider poker a sport. That's not a sport. That's just playing cards, and there's a mental aspect to it. With this,
that's just
like it's not a sport. Like 100% not a sport.
Justine's reply to Chuck's comment about the dictionary. Esports argue that it requires precision and hand-eye coordination, and if we said that doesn't count, then should shooting?
No. No. I tell you what, if it's going to be shooting, then you can't use sights.
What do you mean, like barrels?
So if you ever look at the shooters, right, and this is not fronting on any shooter either, but if you ever look at the shooters, so when they go and they've got these elbow straps that tie them into their shoulders so that they get locked in their in a more stable position. They've got these really fancy eyeglasses and sights to help them aim better.
Yeah.
And they're in a static prone position or a kneeling position, which they're tied into so that they can't move. And basically they're within millimeters. That's what they're shooting against, right? Which is fine, but you could probably get, if more people had access to shooting and could afford it, you would find that you'd probably find way better shooters than there currently are now. But because it's such an expensive sport to get into, they just don't have the access. If you want shooting to be proper, get a rifle, take all the sights off except for the front and the rear iron sight, and then make it do reaction target shooting. And if you can't do that, and for me, that would then become a sport because there's a mental aptitude, there's a physical aptitude to be able to hold the rifle, and you got to move. So there's, that's where the sport element comes into play, and there's a definite finish, right? Because it's based on points. So that would become a sport. But at the moment, as it stands in the Olympics, absolutely not. It's an embarrassment.
Oh, this really revs up. Ben just said, I've seen some of those esport boys sweat whilst playing on stage, but then again, they were sweating from their palms.
Yeah,
this is true. But then Jay Curtis then said, but then golfers would also need to use the same clubs. Rugby players could not use taping if shooters could not use scopes.
No, yeah. So I think that's different because taping is a. I guess he's talking about from the lifting point of view, getting lifters up.
Right.
I would take that point on, but in terms of tape for their hands and stuff, that's more of like injury prevention. That's not injury prevention. That's enhancing their ability to shoot. So that's my argument to that. But I do take the point that straps on lifters shouldn't be allowed.
Damn, yeah. Esports is... The bro is disagreeing that esports is a sport. Ben is saying that esports is a sport. We've got a divided room here.
Why did you ask the owner?
Kenyon's on the fence about it. Why are you on the fence, bro?
I used to think it was awesome, but then areas of like shooting in the Olympics, like laser shooting and stuff.
Oi, is that Kenyon?
Yeah, Kenyon also is just
Kenyon,
on the yeah.
Pick a side, mate. Pick a side. You're not the UN. Pick a side.
Yeah.
I don't think it's...
What about horse riding? The horse does the work. This is very true.
Horse riding is not a fucking sport either. That's just rich people being poncy.
That is so true.
Yeah.
Kenyon's on the fence about this esports thing.
Yeah, Kenyon's like the UN. He never wants... Make a decision, mate. Pick a side.
Yeah, what do you reckon, bro?
Yeah, pick a side. Don't sit on the fence.
Because, yeah, it's in the Olympics.
What's definition of
Is it in the Olympics?
No.
What's
But it
the
might be.
definition of sport?
Oh, Chuck just said it. Something of physical effort.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
then what's the point is physical effort? Does it,
Chuck, what's defined as physical effort?
Does that mean coordination and all that kind of stuff? Does that encompass the physical effort? Because that in esports would be.
Yeah,
What do you think of
because
that?
there's a level of it, right? But that's what I mean. I'm like, morning, Ayla. Happy birthday for yesterday.
Thank you.
It's hard though because it's so broad. But then yeah, esports, I reckon, is it the future of it? I reckon it's the future of it. It's heading that way.
Now here's a good thing.
Mhm.
You should ask Paz what he thinks of surfing and snowboarding.
Are they not sports?
Well, see, this is where my argument probably loses a bit of value, and I probably need to tighten it up a little bit. But I think surfing is a sport, but he doesn't. He thinks it's a hobby because there's an element of because there's judges that are judging your ability to surf on a wave. So your ability is done based off someone's interpretation of how you've done it.
But I think on that note, though, if they just change the rules behind how they judge the surfers, it would still they can change it in a way where there is a winner and a loser without being judged. Like if they were had to like catch the best wave, or I don't know.
Well, yeah, but that
one
comes
side
down
of
to
the
what's the best wave, right? So my interpretation is that I think surfing is a sport because there's an element of skill level, physicality, mental aptitude, and that they're competing against another person. And while someone is judging it, those judges are basing their points off a set level of parameters, not off a visual representation of what it is. So if they do like a cutback, that's a particular part of the point. Versus, that cutback was really good, I'm going to give them an 8, but that cutback beforehand was only a 6.
Right.
Regardless of what it is, that will always be a certain particular numerical value to it.
Right.
Same with like gymnastics and stuff like that, because that argument would go against the same as well. So it's really finicky, and then we can go down this whole rabbit hole of like what is and what isn't. But esports is not a sport.
Okay, we've this has honestly definitely opened up a can of worms that we won't take it there. But I just want to change the subject a little. As you guys all know, we've got MK's project up here. We're doing a huge collection of blankets, clothes of all sizes, non-perishable foods. What else? Blankets, sheets, towels. If you're not doing anything this weekend, maybe this weekend's the weekend that you have a big clean out. MK is doing so much for the City Impact community, and she does so much for the 808 community as well. I remember, like I said last week, I remember when she rocked up to our nationals down in Mount Maunganui here in C2 for the day. They came out and watched us work out for the day, and that for me, bottom of my heart, grateful for that. So I only just want to push this kaupapa to everyone. Everyone lives like they think they don't have much, but until you go digging in the cupboard, you're like, oh, actually, I haven't used that in ages. So maybe we could use it and give it to people in need. And if you've got, in your supermarket shop, grab some extra cans of baked beans or spaghetti. I know that will go a long way. So just really wanted to push that. And if you know your brothers or your sisters that have kids that also might need a little clean out, let them know that we're doing a collection and to leave it upstairs at 808.
Perfect.
There's my little push. And also, who has tried the old Dose & Co collagen creamer? I heard you saying a couple of, I think when we first came out of lockdown, bro, that you said the cream is good with the coffee.
Yeah, she ain't bad. She's not bad. And like with a good instant, you got to have a good instant. You can't front with it, or like good Nespresso pods and you put a bit of creamer in it, yes, good. But if you got a terrible instant, it's no amount of collagen is going to make it feel good.
No, so gonna keep an eye out on our socials, fam. Gonna have a little try at the old Creamux collagen, see what it does for the old eyebrows, mustache, and underarm hair. And the hair up there too, bro.
Hopefully, it's meant
Keep
to
your
grow.
brain warm. Keep your brain warm. Nah. But yeah, so keep an eye on our socials for that. You got a busy day ahead of you, bro?
Yeah, I got I haven't checked my emails in about a day, and I've got a feeling I'm going to have a few. And I've just got some admin stuff to do. Sol was going swimming at 11.
Nice.
The new Z-Bex bikes that are in downstairs, so we're going to have a play with those. And then Ayla's got dance, so yeah, she's a bit of a admin-y type of day, and I'm going to go through some of our old towels and that and get them ready.
Nice.
Tomorrow. And then I've got Aisha's 40th in the weekend, so I've got to get a suit ready.
Yeah, you got to prep for that. Oh, well, anyways, who the people that are on, send us a number. I'm trying to pick a number. 27 for the day. Friday tomorrow, team, get through today so we can send Friday on its merry way. Oh, this is a long one. Quote of the day. When I was 5 years old, my mum always told me that happiness was the key to life. When I went to school, they asked me what I wanted to be when I grew up. I wrote down happy. They told me I didn't understand the assignment, and I told them they didn't understand life. John Lennon.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that is a good one for Thursday.
Yeah.
It did, eh? Have a good day, fam. Thank you for joining this morning. You can have a good day, bro. Stay safe.
You see this.
Stay warm.